Okay, let's talk about this wild underdog story unfolding in Pittsburgh right now. Imagine being 5'8" in a sport where everyone else looks like they're built like skyscrapers. Now imagine becoming a social media phenomenon, because Pirates fans are so desperate for hope that they're turning a guy's headshot into a meme. That's Ronny Simon's life in 2026. But wait, this isn't just a gimmick. This kid's actually delivering. And honestly, his journey might be the most fascinating thing happening in baseball this season. Let's rewind. Last year, Simon was crying on the field after a nightmare defensive game, got DFA'd, then bounced around like a pinball in the minors. Now he's the spark plug for a Pirates team that looked completely lost. The narrative writes itself, right? But here's what I can't stop thinking about. Why does Simon's story feel so refreshing in a sport drowning in analytics and cookie-cutter superstars? Maybe because he's the anti-robot. He's not some 6'5" laser show home run machine. He's scrappy, emotional, and unapologetically himself. And in an era where players often sound like they're reading press releases mid-conversation, Simon's raw authenticity is weirdly revolutionary. Let's dissect his performance. That 1.057 OPS against lefties? Not luck. That's a weapon. The Pirates clearly stashed him in AAA until they needed a lefty killer. Smart move. But what fascinates me is how he's forcing managers to rethink roster construction. They dropped Ozuna, a proven power bat, for a glove-first guy who brings intangibles. In my opinion, that's a microcosm of baseball's evolving identity crisis. Do you chase raw stats or invest in chemistry? Simon's success suggests there's untapped value in players who elevate the room, not just the scoreboard. Now about those fans changing their profile pics. That's not just support, it's a rebellion. Pittsburgh's been stuck in this weird purgatory for years. Too proud to tank, too broke to compete. Simon represents something visceral. He's the human version of a drag bunt. Unexpected, irritating to the opposition, and weirdly poetic if it works. And the way he owns his Dominican roots, blending old-school tactics with modern hustle? That's the kind of cultural storytelling MLB needs more of. But here's the thing. Can this energy sustain over a 162-game grind? Or is this just a fun 2-week highlight reel? What Simon's doing transcends baseball. He's become a symbol for anyone told they're too small, or not the prototype. His post-game quote about kids watching him? Chills. Because this isn't just about sports, it's about permission slips. He's showing a generation that you don't need to fit the mold to break it. But let's not romanticize this completely. The Pirates still need pitching. They're still probably a year away from relevance. But Simon? He's the spark that reminds us why we watch sports in the first place. For moments that feel real. For players who aren't afraid to cry, to hustle, to wag their tongues sliding into home. In a world of billion-dollar contracts and sterile press conferences, sometimes the best story is the little guy who refuses to disappear. What do you think? Is Ronnie Ball a fleeting trend, or the start of something bigger?